When I was 17, I tore my shoulder in 3 places, and unfortunately that put an end to my cricket career. I couldn't throw the ball. You know, when you're on these discovery calls, proposal calls, pitching to brands, running the campaigns, managing a team, you can't afford to have even one lapse of concentration, because everything you've built can come tumbling back down so easily. One simple product placement into their hands allows you to reach these people with trust, authenticity, and credibility.
AG1 is a good example, right?
AG1, yep, great example, example. So,
Yeah.
but then why does that logic not apply wider? If you work with one nootropic company, you shouldn't work with another nootropic company. If you work with one protein powder company, don't work with another protein powder company. The brands are low quality, they do not have a genuine mission, there's no backstory, there's no driving reason of here's why our founder started this brand. It's clearly just a play to make some money.
Yeah. Super nice having you here. Aditya, how's it going?
Yeah, all is well. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm excited for our conversation. Obviously, Daniel spoke very highly of yourself. He recommended me to reach out, so I'm excited to see where this conversation takes us. Yeah, great guy.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
Absolutely. Awesome. So we'll be speaking about influencer marketing, your journey in this space, your journey in the D2C space as well.
Yeah.
And why don't we get started with like your journey, your introduction? How did you come here?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Aditya, and I am the co-founder of Augmentum Media. Augmentum is an influencer marketing agency. We specialize in influencer affiliate marketing. So rather than paying influencers hundreds of thousands of pounds for posts, we help brands in actually identifying those niche few influencers that really resonate with their mission and are willing to work with them on a commission basis. So we specialize in building these programs out for health and wellness brands in the D2C space. Some of our clients include brands like Lululemon, Fussy, Freya, Hunter and Gather, and yeah, that's a bit about us.
That's superb. And how did you get here? Like, why influencer marketing? How did this journey start? Can we like go to the old times?
Yeah, so let's just roll back. Let's say three and a half years, and this was when me and my now co-founder Sambhav, we were really good friends through our professional sporting background. So we met each other at a very early age, 12, 13, and this was in the Scotland junior cricket setup. So that's my background, international sports. And we built our friendship over the concept of nutrition, recovery, rehab, really pushing each other to be the best version of ourselves possible. And when I was 17, I tore my shoulder in 3 places, and unfortunately that put an end to my cricket career. I couldn't throw the ball. But that's when me and Sambhav came together. We were both very young, very driven, motivated. We wanted to start some sort of business, and we were very much aware of the impact that influencers were having on the global D2C space. You look at brands like Prime, you have KSI, Logan Paul, blowing up a product, not because of its quality, but because of the influence that's behind the team, right? Even now you have Mr. Beast and Feastables, for example. So it seemed to us as if there really was a gap there for more brands to be taking advantage of this concept of influencer marketing. And choosing to niche down into health and wellness was such a no-brainer, because we understand the space better than anyone else. Between the both of us, we have nearly 20 years combined experience in the health and wellness space. So we truly understand these brands. The brands we work with, we are their target customer. So who better than us to understand how to sell to these people? And it comes through when we work with our clients. They truly do see our expertise of the health and wellness space, as well as the passion that we have for helping them in their mission to encourage as many people as possible to truly begin their journey into health and wellness.
It makes sense. It's always, I've spoken to Daniel, spoken to Zishan, and you all have a background of competition and embracing competition at a very young age. And I'm sure that does something, right? That kind of instills a level of the core entrepreneurial spirit in you, right?
Yeah.
Would you say so?
Yeah, 100%. Because when you look at what makes entrepreneurs successful, it's never learning from a textbook or doing a course or going to university.
Right.
It's having that innate ability to work longer hours than anyone else, to take leadership, to really find that one area where they can see something and build something out of it. So for me, that started when I was 13. I started to realise that cricket was a skill and ability that I could leverage a lot further. I started training harder than anyone else. I used to go to school, come back at like 4 o'clock, go straight to training. I'd be there till 8 or 9 p.m, go to the gym afterwards, build my strength, come home, eat clean. You know, my friends at the time, they'd be going to parties, they'd be going out, they'd be eating unhealthy foods, but having the ability to separate yourself from that for some sort of greater purpose, that's what drives every entrepreneur. And for example, Daniel's background in archery as well, having that ability in yourself to remain dedicated, committed, passionate about something, that's where every entrepreneur, in my opinion, is born. And even now, the space I'm in, a lot of these D2C brands that are emerging now, when you look at the founding team behind these brands, for example, 4-5, you have 2 ex-international rugby players. It really shows you that having that sporting ability, molding that discipline from a young age, it really pays dividends no matter what you go into in life.
I remember I was telling Daniel that, I'm kind of bummed out about the fact that I never competed with sports. And he told me majority of archers... he told me that. He told me that. He told me majority of archers are very old, like 45-year-olds. And so, I do have time in that sport.
You have time.
Even to like relate it to cricket, like every ball you're trying to figure it out. You have a leadership role there. And you also have a goal that there's a very specific purpose in that match. And then you have to think of the entire series as well. But if you lose these series, can you afford to lose these series? At what run rate can you afford to lose these series? All of these things, right? So it becomes a very well-rounded entry into entrepreneurship in a way.
Bringing that cricket example into it further, you make a great point. But I was a batsman, for example, and you know this, as a batsman, if you have 1 lapse in concentration, that's you done.
Yeah, you're done.
You can bat for 30 overs, 40 overs, 1 lapse in concentration, that's you done, right? So that relates to me now in entrepreneurship. You know, when you're on these discovery calls, proposal calls, pitching to brands, running the campaigns, managing a team, you can't afford to have even 1 lapse of concentration, because everything you've built can come tumbling back down so easily. So it really becomes a marathon of performing at your best, performing at the highest level possible for as long as you can.
It's like it's the entrepreneurial sharpness that we talk about, how sharp founders are. It's that it always locked in, basically. So it's very difficult to do if you don't have it intentionally, but I think for a lot of the successful people, it just comes naturally, or they develop it over time because of how much because of purpose. Maybe they like the industry and they actually want to succeed in it. That makes sense. In terms of the D2C space, very interesting, because I operate in the same space. I help with AMEG. It's a brand strategy, brand design studio. We help the early growth e-commerce startup, and the space is booming, especially in India. It's booming very high. And so I'm really interested of the fact that why did you choose influencer marketing? Like, what actually gave you like a concrete belief in that?
So I noticed that I was being marketed to, not by billboards or television ads or newspapers, but I was being marketed to by my friends and family foremost, and then by influencers on social media. An example now, and honestly, a lot of the time we don't realise that we're being marketed to by influencers. A good influencer does it organically, right? So if you look at the likes of Alex Hormozi, something these guys do super well is, for example, Hormozi, he marketed this productivity timer, and he marketed it in a way that made it seem as if that's what's driven his success. It's not, right? There's 101 other things that have got Hormozi to the place he is now. But I watched him talk about that timer. I went and bought it. My flatmates went and bought it. So it really shows you just how deep-rooted our inclination is to buy something off the recommendation of a friend, or in this case, an influencer that has social proof in that space. So again, when I was younger, I told you that I play cricket, right? So all my cricket gear. So I watched Virat Kohli was endorsed by MRF, Rohit Sharma, Siat, for example. You had all these big players going down that influencer route. They were becoming creators in themselves. And I was the same. I was reaching out to brands, asking for sponsorships, asking for partnerships. And when I left cricket, I still saw it happening. It became more a fitness thing, because when I left cricket, I threw myself at the gym. And that's where I saw brands like Young LA, Gymshark, for example, they were building their brands off the back of very successful influencer affiliate programs. They made it seem as if every creator, even now for a lot of influencers, the pinnacle, the moment they know they've made it as an influencer, is getting that Gymshark brand deal or getting the MyProtein brand deal. And it made me think that all these nano creators, the micro influencers, they might not have hundreds of thousands of followers, but actually what they do have is a close-knit audience that truly believe in what they have to say and will make buying decisions based off their recommendations. And no one was working with them. People just thought they're too small to be an influencer. But these guys have that buying power that no one's leveraging, and now our clients are driving thousands of pounds of revenue by partnering with them.
You make a very good point, because it's very inculcated in us how deep rooted this idea to actually follow something or someone. It's almost evolutionary the way we have created civilizations, right? We are here because we followed. Majority people followed while very few led. And so if those very few in today's time are willing to be the thought leaders, people creating content, so to say, sounds trivial, but at the end, those are the people we're following. For whatever reason, we are following them. And it's very much an innate thing, following them. And that's why, till this day, word of mouth ranks the highest in terms of, brands willing to achieve. I think the closest second comes influencer marketing, because it's like you can outsource word of mouth in a way.
The way I like to look at influencer marketing is word of mouth, but at scale, because you can reach hundreds of thousands of people in one go. You can be targeted. For example, if I want to reach people in, let's look at a nootropic brand, right? So these guys want to reach people that talk about or have interest about increasing focus, productivity, achieving mental clarity. If you went into the street, how easy would it be to find these people? It'd be difficult, right? But if you partner with an influencer Huberman, for example, who talks about these things daily, has built an audience that has a passion for these kind of things and is trusted by that audience, one simple product placement into their hands allows you to reach these people with trust, authenticity, and credibility.
AG1 is a good example, right?
AG1, yep, great example, example. So what they've done in the green space, especially across the UK, again, they position themselves as the number one greens superfood simply by leveraging these nano and micro influencers. Every influencer you see posting about greens initially was talking about AG1, right? So it's such an easy way to gain credibility in an industry.
With your experience in terms of actually being able to leverage influencers and being able to bring conversions for brands, where have you seen the pitfalls? Maybe from an influencer side first. Where do you think are some cracks, maybe? Okay,
so from an influencer side, the big cracks I see now are twofold, and they're both centered around the angle of authenticity and passion. What I see happening now is influencers working with an unlimited number of brands, 10, 15, 20. You'll see them put a story up talking about one brand, and then another story talking about one of their competitors.
Right.
As a consumer, when you look at that, it's clear that this is a forced paid collaboration. It's clear that the influencer doesn't actually believe in the brand. They don't use the brand. They've not seen the benefits themselves. They're posting to receive a paycheck. Right. And that's where the problem now in influencer marketing lies, because every brand knows they need to have influencers in their strategy, but brands aren't able to partner with influencers authentically and in an organic manner. Yeah, so the problem you have is when these influencers are partnering with so many brands, it becomes difficult on the brand side to organically reach their customers with that focus and with that angle of authenticity, because they can't find influencers that genuinely share their values. They can't find influencers that want to partner with them because they love the product or they believe in the brand, because they see the brand vision. It seems as if every influencer just wants a paycheck. But the reality is that this isn't true. There are still hundreds of thousands of influencers, mainly those nano and micro creators, who want to organically partner with brands where they share their values and where they see a future beneficial relationship. And that's where our service and that's where our offering has came in. And it's where we see so much success, is in running these campaigns with the focus of partnering brands with influencers who genuinely care about their mission, share their values, and want to work with them because they believe in them and think that their audience should be introduced to the brand. So this is at the heart of all of our influencer and affiliate programs, is why we start with influencer seeding, where we send out products, no strings attached, no contracts, not paying the influencer for content, they're not obligated to create content. But what this seeding does is it identifies the influencers that genuinely love the brand and believe in the brand's mission. We then move these influencers onto a brand ambassador program where they get commission on sales, their audience gets a discount, the creator is kept topped up with product on a monthly basis, and building and scaling these does three things. It brings in that organic awareness at a really low CPM, awareness where it's clear that these guys haven't been paid, they actually love the brand. It brings in that content, that organic, authentic UGC content. Again, it's not scripted, it's allowing the influencer to passionately talk about a brand that they love working with. And this content goes on paid ads, it goes across organic social. And finally, by giving these influencers their commission links and audience discounts, we can directly send traffic to the brand's website, which does result in attributable sales.
True. And you have just explained the 3-tier strategy that's working very amazing for Augmentum.
There you go.
I was about to come to that, but yeah, you just
that is the Augmentum 3-tier strategy. You start with influencer seeding, identify at scale people that love your brand. That's tier 1. Tier 2, influencer affiliate. You move them onto an affiliate program that drives always on awareness, content, and sales. Tier 3, you take the best affiliates and then you work with them on paid partnerships where you can negotiate massive discounts because they love the brand and simply aim to scale your revenue at a high ROAS. That's it.
Affiliates in this way work very well as well, considering you're talking about, having a foundational layer first. When I'm a consumer and I know the influencer is actually, connected, then affiliates are like a huge leverage on it. So that's very impressive from your side as well, making that work. It's very intuitive, or it should have been very intuitive from a influencer lens, that if one day you're showing me, one day you're doing an ad for Zomato, the next day you're doing an ad for Swiggy, who are two competitors in the food space here in India, then you basically just almost like, you're just news at that point in time. You're just a marketing channel.
Exactly.
That's not helpful, right?
The common sense of it, again, it's not so common, right? But it should be obvious. And we see it on a large scale. For example, if you work with Nike, you would never envision going and working with Adidas because they are two direct competitors, right? But then, why does that logic not apply wider? If you work with one nootropic company, you shouldn't work with another nootropic company. If you work with one protein powder company, don't work with another protein powder company. It's perfectly fine to work across the wellness space. Have a partner that you work with for your protein, one for nootropics, maybe there's an energy drink one for clothing, apparel, for example. But it's when you work with these direct competitors, it simply doesn't make sense to the brand, the consumer, and it just shows that as an influencer, you don't really care about your audience and being authentic and organic with them. You simply care about receiving those paychecks.
In a way, you can, like, if I play the devil's advocate, I don't have a horse in the race either, right? So why not? Because I'm not making part of the revenue. If I'm not going for the influencer thing that you mentioned, the affiliate plus influencer led channel, then why not? I mean, I don't have any stakes basically. So I don't care about the competition because it's not competition for me. It's just another brand. So that's where the leverage is from your side, which is where you can actually make sure that, for example, if you're watching a Mr. Beast video and he's doing a sponsorship, you would know that he doesn't care at all. It's just a marketing channel. It's just a voice. It's just news. It works. But let's say it's in the fitness space, there's this channel called, I think, Brownie. I really like his videos. I'm not that much into fitness, but I like his videos. There's Will Tennyson, if I'm not wrong. And it's these guys. So if Will tells me something one day, and the next day he goes for the competitor, I'll be like, wait, what? You don't have any stakes in that? So, right. That's where it makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because in the same way that as a fitness influencer, if you mainly post content around working out and doing sets of 20 reps, if you then switch that up to say, actually, high reps are bad and I only train within the 3 to 5 rep range, it doesn't make any sense. So it's the same thing with brands. If you go from promoting one protein powder company saying these guys are the best, they have these USPs, it's grass-fed, it's organic, they have these flavors, etc., and then the next day you're promoting the competitor saying the exact same thing. Oh man,
Yeah, then it becomes very much a mismatch, and that's where you would think that those influencer marketing campaigns aren't working or aren't giving the best conversions, because then it's basically up to the people to decide. Then they are missing out on leveraging the core thing, which is their authenticity, the people's connect. Because if you're just a news channel basically almost, then you're just missing out on that. Then the leverage is just that script, your graphics, your audio, and all of that.
Exactly, the leverage goes because at that point, as you said, it's the same as marketing through a newspaper or through the website or through paid ads. It's the exact same thing. The thing about influencers is you have a creator giving their recommendation, and that recommendation for the audience is based off trust of that influencer and thinking that if this creator tells me something or makes a recommendation, it's because they have my interests at heart, it's because they genuinely believe in the product, and they think I could benefit from it. As soon as that goes, the whole power of influencer marketing, all of it goes as well.
That's true. In terms of the influencer marketing space, it's interesting where it's headed, especially with AI, right? And we'll actually get to that at last, so people keep watching, because that will be a very fun conversational part. But to this point of brand building and products, why didn't you start a D2C company, and why did you actually choose to help others?
Okay, yeah, it's a great question, and there's two main reasons. First is that building a D2C product company, I think it requires quite a lot of upfront investment. When I started Augmentum, I was 17. I did not have that kind of investment. And the second reason, and this is the more primary reason, is that obviously building a D2C health and wellness company, you can help a lot of people, but you are limited to whatever subsection of a market you decide to go into. We felt as if we wanted to help a lot more people at scale, and the way for us to do this was by working with multiple brands and raising awareness around multiple different missions at the same time.
That makes sense, and those are very, very true reasons. So yeah, works, why not? And because you've been successful in this as well, last year $250,000 revenue, so that says for itself, right? You're on the right path.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have to give some insights from that journey, what would they be?
So the main insights from, let's say, our past 3 years is that, first of all, seeing traction takes a lot of time. Our first 2 years running the business, when I look back now, it feels as if we didn't do anything in those first 2 years, because revenue-wise, our numbers were very low. In terms of the work we were doing, it feels very unimportant now. But in hindsight, doing that work, making those mistakes, the learnings we got from it have allowed us to get to where we are now. So it is important to be going through that entire phase, making those mistakes, and then having learnings to fall back on. The second thing, one of the things we did from the start that we got right was working with a mentor in an advisor capacity. Because from the start of our journey, one of the first things that we did, I reached out to someone called Suhit, and he's built up a very successful agency in the influencer marketing space, 8-9 figure agency. And I reached out to him asking for some advice. Eventually from there, he came on board Augmentum as our first ever advisor. And being able to learn from his mistakes without making those mistakes yourself, that's invaluable, because he tells us what works, we then take it and apply it, we see results, he tells us what not to do, we avoid making those mistakes, and it's essentially having someone on your team that knows exactly what direction you need to head in and when.
Yeah. I mean, it's very underrated. Having a mentor, I think, is very underrated, especially in today's world, because there's just so much flexibility, right? You can just be on video calls with anyone, literally, just like we are on right now. So why not?
Exactly.
Literally
like it doesn't
out the journey a lot.
Sorry?
It literally like smoothens out your journey a lot.
Definitely, and it's something, now that we've seen results, we're looking to go even bigger into that space. So something we launched in early 2025 is an advisor newsletter. So we now have essentially an email list that's filled with other entrepreneurs, agency owners, brand owners, essentially people that they're nearer the end of their journey than we are. We're right at the start. And every month we send an email update out to this email list that details wins, losses, what's working, what's not working. We might ask for advice on certain topics, but having that board sitting behind us keeping us accountable and helping us by sharing their learnings, that's already been a massive driver as well. And it's something that I think is going to be a very big part of our growth strategy and understanding where we need to be scaling the business.
So that's an interesting one. That must have been super helpful, right?
Well, I actually got the idea off of Daniel because he has a few mentors that he's reached out to through email in this very kind of similar way. He leverages his backstory, leverages where he's seen success, and we thought, well, if we can scale that up, then we can essentially have a board of 50 to 100 people. And the logic behind it is, say in 4 months' time we're facing a problem that I don't have the experience, Sam doesn't, our advisor doesn't. The probability is that in that 100 people newsletter, one of them have faced the problem and they can help us with offering advice, right? So
yes, why not? Absolutely. In terms of this is very interesting. I would love to know your opinion on this, because personally, in terms of what I've seen, I believe generally a lot of these companies, D2C, all along e-commerce, a lot of these companies don't focus a lot on good product building itself. They try and just rush towards just getting the product out and just advertise. They think that's the thing. Like, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, it's a real shame, is the simplest way of putting it, because you have two types of brands. You have brand one, and this brand spends an absolute fortune on development, and we have a lot of clients like this where the product is amazing, it's science backed, they have researchers on board, they've invested thousands if not millions into ensuring that their product is one of the best on the market. The problem? These guys don't have money or budget left for advertising, and if you can't advertise your product, the world is not going to see you or know how good your product is, right? And then you have the other brand. You have the brand that rushes the development stage, they get a product out there as soon as possible, and then they invest thousands into influencers, paid ads, out of home, any sort of marketing channel, and they blow up within 2 or 3 weeks. But the thing is, and again, without naming names here, I mentioned a few creator-led brands earlier on, so you can take that as an example. But the brands are low quality, they do not have a genuine mission, there's no backstory, there's no driving reason of here's why our founder started this brand. Is clearly just a play to make some money. But the thing is, because they invest so much into the marketing, into the influencer side, they partner with some very credible people. Those influencers' credibility gets attached to the product and the founders when there's nothing there that they should be credible for, essentially.
I remember, so I do this design analysis series where I sit with a friend, he's an agency founder as well, Gurjinder. We just sit together and we analyze brands. We analyzed Bero, Tom Holland's brand, we analyzed Fenty Beauty, analyzed Rare Beauty, so many other brands, and also Feastables and like Pizza 5, Ryan Trahan.
Yeah, you mentioned Bero. I put a LinkedIn post out a few days ago on why I love that brand so much. It's because for the first time in so long, you see a brand where the brand vision and the creator behind it actually matches up. So Tom Holland now for multiple years has spoke about his journey struggling with alcoholism and wanting to turn towards a non-alc alternative, but still not have that stigma of, oh, why not drinking, and be able to, position that in a fun, catchy sort of way. And that's exactly what Bero does. It positions not drinking alcohol, so it's a lovely packaging, lovely design, and it's clear that the founder actually buys into the mission. And when you compare it to the others, like Prime, for example,
same with Lewis Hamilton. He created a brand as well with tequila. I think it's non-alcoholic tequila or something. Blue Agave Spirit. And so it's very interesting. Again, similar story, I think, for him as well. And then there's a brand called Lemme. I'm fine with taking names, so it's Lemme. I think it's by Khloe Kardashian, if I'm not wrong. And she has, all the hype in the world, but very shameful what it turned out to be.
Well, I've not seen that yet. So it's
you can check it out.
Lemme.
Lemme.
Lemme. So it's gummies, right? Okay.
Yeah, shameful. You would be disappointed, man. Yeah, it's just, it's written China all over it. It's Chinese manufacturing, just commodity manufacturing, just go there. And this is the thing, in China, there you will find lots of manufacturers who literally are like, tell me your touch point. So tell me like what you want to do. Is it like digestive? Cool. You want it in tablet form, powder form. Okay, tablet form. It's like pink tablets, blue, green tablets. Done. Packaging, not needed. Done. Send it to you. 2,000 batches. It's literally that much of a commodity if you're going for just sugar pills. And then what do you do with the rest of the money? You advertise.
That's the thing. Like, when you look at all the new products launching now, you really question how many of these are manufactured in China with investment into the design and then investment into marketing, versus how many of them have a genuine mission, a genuine backstory, and want to truly help people in achieving certain health goals. And it's a shame that this became so distorted.
I remember, like, so we go in like without any script and we don't do any research. It's like it's design unscripted. It's literally unscripted. So I remember me and Gurjinder, we're having a good time. We're analyzing the brand. The brand looks good. Packaging is a bit new. The colors are new, all of that. Slowly and slowly, as I go more into the depth, I figured out, wait, the product is completely sham. Like, what? So yeah, it is disappointing. But
it's straight away, like, all you need to do is look at the ingredients and straight away you'll see. For example, in the UK, there's a brand called Hunter and Gather, right? And I've been using their electrolytes for a while now. And the ingredients are literally, it's like pink Himalayan salt, no added sugar, no added preservatives, no stevia. It's you see exactly what you're taking and it fills you with confidence. And then you look at other brands and you see an ingredient list that's literally goes down the entire page with 50 or 55 different ingredients. Acid this, you know, it really shocks you how much shit goes into their products. It's awful.
True. I mean, you can check out this Lemme brand and you'll see asterisks everywhere.
Really?
And you know what the asterisk means? It's not like we are not recommending it clinically and it's not tested. So I'm like, wait, what? No. Then just sell sugar candies. That's better.
Literally.
I would want to kind of double click on the fact that you've prioritized health all throughout this journey.
Yes.
Because generally entrepreneurs don't do it. It's very difficult to kind of do it as well. And I don't think it's difficult from a time management perspective. Like, I never buy the fact if someone tells me they don't have time for anything, I'm like, make time. You have 24 hours. Everyone has that. If it matters to you, make time.
Exactly.
So I would want to know, like, why? Why health? I mean, given your background, it makes sense, of course.
There's so many reasons, to be honest. Over the past 3 years, I have at times struggled to prioritize my health. For example, very busy. But what I find is that in the long term, you know, the benefits of maybe doing a little less work but staying healthy throughout the journey, they far outweigh going all in and spending the entire day working, for example. Because you feel better mentally, your clarity's better, the quality of your work is better, your output is better. Everything just, for me, investing an hour and a half every day into going to the gym 6 days a week, the benefits of that on everything I do are just so monumental. Alongside that, we work in the health and wellness sector. We preach health and wellness. We preach our background. We preach the fact that the reason we understand your brands, the reason we understand your values is that we are your target customer. You know, I have a background in international sport. I train 6 days a week. I mean, you can see behind me, you can see see the supplements I consume, right? So because of this, I can genuinely tell my clients that I care about their mission because I do. But if I was unhealthy, unfit, overweight, what kind of image does that put me in for someone that works in the health and wellness space?
True. Imagine you had a dad bod and you're going to them
telling
them, get healthy, guys, get healthy. Yeah, it doesn't work. Makes sense. And you're right. I don't remember who said this, but they said that the landscape of work, the way we do work right now, core work, it's probably some 300 years old, 200-300 years old, and it's very difficult to comprehend that work hasn't been around for thousands of years, because it hasn't been. The way we do corporate work right now, jobs basically as a concept is probably 200-300 years old. Before that, it was what you will consider freelance or entrepreneurship or just barter system for that matter. And so that landscape can change with AI. And sounds very, very ridiculous, but I mean, you go some 100 years back and you tell them that, hey, I can now call anyone. That would be ridiculous as well. Internet would be ridiculous. So that's there. But the biggest advantage that we can have as people right now in 5 years' time is probably more than $1 million. You having a good VO2 max will probably be a better marker than you having $100,000 in your bank. Right? You having good cholesterol levels would probably be a better marker. So yeah. I completely resonate with this as well, very much.
It's became so rare to see people that prioritize their health and actually do it on a deeper level. So for example, I get my bloods checked once every quarter, all the main kind of, hormone markers, etc. You'll be the same, right? And it's reassuring, first of all, to see everything's in order.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it really makes you question the people that don't actively invest time and money into their health. I can't see there being any other things that are better investments for you than prioritizing your own health. And it doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to be a massive time or money investment. Everyone can stay on top of their health by minimal cost.
Almost, I mean, Michael Israelta, you will know him. He says that Michael Israelta, like the big buffy guy who's funny as well.
Yeah.
So I love seeing his content. He says this, that the delta that you'll get through working out, it's not that much. So at the core, health is about sleeping well, good food, and taking care of your body, which means going to the gym. Even if you can't go to the gym, work out, do some push-ups, just normal things that we all are aware of. I think 80% people, you just sit them down and you tell them that generate a workout schedule for yourself without any equipment. They'll be able to do it. I think they can do it. Right? It's not that difficult. But when it comes to execution, they're like, oh, McDonald's or parties.
Exactly.
Then those things come.
Three basics: nutrition, sleep, and movement. Notice I said movement. It's not even working out. It's not even going to the gym and lifting weights in the incline bench. Go for runs. Go for a jog. Do bodyweight movement at home. Do yoga. Do Pilates. But as long as you can do that, look after your diet. And again, the diet part becomes overcomplicated because it doesn't mean, invest in a chef or track all your macros or weigh out your broccoli on a scale. But if you can focus on eating single ingredient foods, limiting your sugar, limiting processed foods, for the majority of people, that is more than enough to ensure that they're staying as healthy as they need to be.
I think it becomes part of your personality almost. Like it becomes not even a choice. For example, before, like you go back like 5 years back, it was difficult for me to comprehend. Like when I'm having like a piece of chocolate, I didn't think of my sugar because I couldn't care about it. Now that I care about it, every time I'm having something, I remember it. Like I know that, okay, so I'm having sugar. I'm consciously having it, but I'm having it. And so I know about it. And it becomes part of your personality, just staying healthy, staying fit. It becomes part of the way you live life. And you're thinking about it every time.
It becomes ingrained because even when you look at today, for example, there's this whole movement around seed oils and sunflower oil because it's inflammatory, it slows down your brain processing. You look at how it's made, fair enough, it's a very bad process. So I actively try and avoid seed oils. Our house, our kitchen has nothing, for example. If I go out, I'll still, obviously, if need be, I'll still have it. But it's, as you said, with chocolate, you are consciously aware that you're making that choice, and then it really makes you draw back from there. But because I've been doing this with the oil, for example, for a year now, it becomes such a second nature almost. It's not something I think about anymore. And the sooner you can move into that kind of position, it's the same with foods. So I now try and eat single ingredient foods as much as possible. So when I go to the shop, when I look at the ingredients and I see 6, 7, 8 different ingredients, straight away you put it back down, right? But the sooner you can get to that, life just becomes easier.
True. I mean, the way fast I make a decision right now between kebab and roti curry, it's amazing. So life has been amazing that way. And awesome, man. This is a superb conversation. Loved it. Looking forward to more conversations. And,
let's stay connected, and I'm excited to see and
all the best
more about your journey.
Awesome. Hope you guys subscribe.
Amazing,
hope you guys learned a lot.
Thank you,
Take
bro.
care.
Chat soon. Bye.
Super.